Angela, lovely to see you.
Thank you. I'm very pleased to be here.
So, surprise, surprise, Meghan, after saying the royal family was racist, after writing letters that they were racist, is now pretending that she never said any of it. Please don't talk about it ever again, despite the fact she was the one who brought it up.
I know. I think it's a super cunning way to behave, whereby you absolutely always don't quite understand that nobody heard you properly or got what you said correctly. But she's very thoughtful. She's got it sorted out. And she's done it, I think, especially with the racist slant, that actually will leave a dark cloud over people. And I can tell you that I've taken in a lot of taxis these last few weeks because of all the work that you're doing in different TV things. And a lot of the drivers, working class drivers, believe her that the monarchy is racist. When I say, but she's now said this, really? You know, people not really getting in and seeing how it operates. They're just taking her word for it. And it's just absolutely very disappointing that she could stoop so low. And at the last minute, you know, put the racism back in, actually. Although she said that it was, you know, unconscious bias. I mean, whatever that nonsense phrase means. She's actually making sure everybody remembers that there's still racism there. Have they given back the special thing that they got from the Kennedy Association for trying to control the royal family's racism? No, they haven't. So she's left it there and moved on. And she pretends these things don't happen. She doesn't care one hoot what people think, because she knows that she can just charm the next lot and just walk away. To say that she never looks back, I mean, I spent 6 hours listening to their terrible program on Netflix, where they just moaned and groaned and moaned and groaned from early on, right the way through. And then, you know, just casually says, I don't look, you know, well, people spoke on her behalf. She doesn't look back. She's for now and for the future. Come off it.
Well, also, I mean, it does, you know, part of their complaint was sort of the skullduggery of people speaking behind the scenes to the press. I mean, all of this coming up again, it didn't come out of Buckingham Palace, did it, Angela?
No, it did not, you see. But she wouldn't say that. It comes out of people who she tells to say these things. She can say, I have nothing to do that. I didn't know, I didn't speak to them. But she's got a whole load of people who follow her, who are paid, who then pass this on. I mean, there was a thing in the Telegraph where she denied things. And the Telegraph is a very serious, very good newspaper. And they wouldn't have done that unless it came from a very good source. So the source says it, and then she blames the press because she can't stand the press. Well, they claim they can't, but actually they want them there all the time.
Now, Harry is apparently going to end up in row 10 in Westminster Abbey. He's also apparently going to run home basically as soon as it's done. Can he not just wait out the day? Can he not go to the drinks afterwards? Can he not bear the thought of standing by with the family and at least watching them go on the balcony instead, out the side door? This is not really attending, is it? It's being there in physical form but not really emotionally all in.
No. Well, I think he can't be emotional about it because he would get too upset. I do think that. But row 10 is quite a way back, and it's quite interesting, and I believe it's put there so that no cameraman can take a picture of him and William. It's too far. But he claims, this is another thing that I can't believe, he claims he needs to get back for Archie's birthday party. Well, I tried to work out the mathematics of the different hours, and he's not going to get back until the evening, even if he rushes straight off. Now, don't tell me that a 4-year-old's going to have a party in the evening. Don't tell me that 4-year-old knew exactly when his birthday was and exactly the calendar that we follow, and wouldn't happily wait for his daddy to be there for the next day and be at his party. So things are very peculiar. You can't believe anything they say. I don't anyway. But I think that it's a shame that Harry doesn't go to the lunch afterwards, although I keep hearing that nobody's going to talk to him because whatever they say, he can't be trusted and he will pass on and get money for it. So you can see that he probably doesn't want to be humiliated with people not talking to him. I was told that they're just going to talk about the weather because it's always quite a conversation piece to discuss the British weather. 4 different seasons in one day is quite common. But I think that I think he'll be extremely tense. Harry wears his emotions on his face. So if you look at him carefully, you can know if he's sulky, if he's furious, if he's feeling sad. You know, I mean, William keeps it all hidden, and a lot of people do, but Harry doesn't. It's all there for everyone to see if they just look.
This is a bloke who, whether he's going to the basketball or the opera, always has had the best seats. What do you think is going to dawn on him when he's 10 rows back from what he could have been, which is in the front row and part of all of this as part of the ceremony?
Well, he blames it onto everybody else. He blames the fact that he's back there in the 10th row because he's spare, and therefore the title of his book was correct, and all that's in it is correct because he's always had a bad hand. One of the things he grumbled about was that William had 5 sausages and he was only allowed 4 when he was quite a young boy. And he's remembered that all these years to moan about. So he'd say he's been put in row 10 because people don't care about him. I don't think he thinks that, what have I done to be put here? Let's try and make amends. I mean, he's just asking for everybody to apologise to him privately, individually. But it would take months because he's got hundreds of complaints about how they behave. But he's got nothing, not one that is his fault.
And Sarah Ferguson has been quite realistic here, that she's been divorced from Andrew for an incredibly long time. She had no expectation of being invited. She's not being invited. But she's trying to, again, remind people that at the heart of all of this, there is a family occasion, and that's a good thing.
Yes, I mean, it was very interesting what she said. They divorced in 1996, I think. But what she said was she was on a TV program and you knew the presenters wanted to say how angry she was and how unfair it was. But she said, look, I'm divorced. This is a state affair, not a family affair. And it's quite right. You can't have it both ways. And that's the thing that people have tried to say to Harry and Meghan. You can't have one foot in the royal family and the other foot using it to make lots of money. And she said that, which was a dig. And she also said the important thing is to bring the family together. Families must come together. I'm very close to King Charles now, and particularly Camilla, and they invited me for Christmas. You know, she hadn't been there for 30 years because Prince Philip wouldn't allow her anywhere near where they had Christmas. So the first time for 30 years, she was invited. She said she had a lovely time. She feels very close. And I think the dig again was, get together. We are one family. And apparently, I don't know this for certain, but I've been told that Eugenie, her daughter, who is very friendly with Harry, the relationship has cooled down. And I think that that's because of what Fergie has said. But there she is. She tries to put people together. She tries to be kind. She's obviously very eccentric, but she feels like all of us feel that this is a time when the family come together. This is King Charles's moment, and you can't keep thinking of me, me, me.
Camilla's son, Tom Parker Bowles, has had a bit to say of recent times, including this nonsense that Harry put out there, which was that, Camilla was all part of a giant plot to eventually become the Queen. She wasn't just going to be the other woman. She wanted to, get Diana out of the way, and this was all part of her evil, inevitable plan. That's, of course, total garbage. But as a person who has written quite a spectacular book about Camilla, What do you think about her son speaking out about, well, the elephant in the room so close to the coronation?
I thought it was brilliant of him, actually. He doesn't talk about his mother very much, even though he's a chef and writes books on food and recipes. But I think that he just couldn't bear it. And he said it very gently. He said, people said to him, what do you think now? Your mother's a queen. He said, I don't think of her as a queen. She's my mother. She's always been my mother. And that's how I see her. But, she said that she married King Charles because she was in love with him. And she's loved him, since they met. And that it's nothing to do with what plan she had. She hasn't tried to work out a way where she would get married and then become a queen. It's just not her. She has not done that. And I thought that was a very nice way of telling Harry that he didn't know what he was talking about. Obviously, Queen Camilla couldn't say that, and nobody else within the royal family could. But there he was, absolutely standing, saying what he wanted about his mother. I thought it was very touching. And he's the sort of person who wouldn't have done it unless he really wanted to. And I think that's the way you can get at other people, because obviously he knows his mother much better than Harry does. And he's always loved her. And he's always loved King Charles, who's his godfather. And he thinks he's a great man. And he's not full of venom and hatred and all that. I thought he gave Harry a nice little smack.
Bloody oath. Well, you always give us a nice hug from the other side of the world. Enjoy the next little while. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you.